Did not see that coming. G'day and welcome to another Mongrel Dog production, and welcome to my adventure. This time myself and a small group of others are going to be covering about 8,000 kilometres of Australia's outback, crossing several deserts including the Canning Stock Route and the Simpson Desert, all over the course of about 6 weeks. This is going to be good. Grab your gear, let's go. Well, here we are. We've covered a couple of thousand kilometres across this wide brown land. We've been on the road for just over a week, I guess. We've done some things and seen some things. We've stayed at some pretty good bush camps along the journey. We've travelled on some pretty good outback roads. We checked out Giles Weather Station, surveyed by Len Bedell back in the 50s or 60s. Had a look at one of the graders that he used to use for construction of the Gun Barrel Highway and many other outback roads. Had a look at some rock holes. Checked out Lassiter's Cave. Poor bastard. Perished in the outback after his camels did a runner on him. Cooked some interesting meals around the campfire. And now we find ourselves just outside of the Olgas and Uluru, where we'll stay for a couple of days. Well, we're just going to go and have a closer look at the Olgas and also Uluru. We'll walk down one or two of the gorges at the Olgas. And Uluru, that closes to climbers later this year, October 2019. They're going to close the rock to climbers, so this place is pretty active at the moment, quite busy. For people wanting to tick that off their bucket list. I believe the rock does close often because of either high temperatures or high winds, yeah, we're hoping to climb it if we get the chance. I believe the reason that they've chosen to close the rock permanently to climbers from October is for cultural reasons, out of respect for the original landowners here in Australia. Well, earlier today the rock was closed due to strong winds at the peak, at the summit. We went back later on, a couple of hours later, and it actually had reopened. We started the climb, but it's a tough climb. So we got a little bit of the way up and then decided to turn around and head back. We've now left Uluru and Yulara. Yulara is the tourist hub that supports Uluru, Ayers Rock. From here we head towards a place called Fink and Mount Dare. Mount Dare is the western edge of the Simpson Desert. But on the way we're going to call into the Geographical Centre of Australia, named Lambert's Geographical Centre. This bloke took, I don't know, 248 points from around the continent at the high water mark, joined the dots and actually mapped the Geographical Centre of Australia. And the flag there, the flag staff, is a replica of the one that flies above our new Parliament House in Canberra. Well, we arrived at, and in fact stayed overnight, and have now left Mount Dare Hotel. Mount Dare Hotel is the last port of call for supplies, fuel and grog. It sits on the western edge of the Simpson Desert. On the way there, in between Lambert's and Mount Dare Hotel is a small Aboriginal community called Fink, and a couple of the local teams were having a game of Aussie rules footy. This whole area around here sits on top of an artesian basin, and between Mount Dare and the Simpson Desert is a place called Dalhousie Springs, and the water is about 38 degrees to the touch, quite warm, and we'll stop off there and have a dip and a swim for a couple of hours. The flies are absolutely horrendous. Drive you nuts between sunrise and sunset. Well, currently at Popple's Corner, there's a bloody traffic jam to get in the car park. Popple's Corner is the junction of 3 states, that is Northern Territory, Queensland and South Australia.
So which one's the real one?
Well, this will probably be our final day crossing the Simpson Desert. We're about 100 kilometres west of Birdsville. We're currently on a bypass. Air Creek is blocked. We've got about a 40 or 50 kilometre deviation to cross Air Creek. The reason the creek is flowing is that there was a cyclone earlier this year up in far north Queensland, tropical cyclone Trevor. It's taken a couple of months and travelled a couple of thousand kilometres and making its way through what they call channel country, heading towards Lake Eyre, which is in Central Australia. It's sort of 1 in a 40-year event. It doesn't happen often, but it's blocked the crossing, so we've got to go around it. And once we've crossed the creek, we'll then head towards Big Red, the tallest dune in the crossing, and then Birdsville. Be at Birdsville later on this afternoon. Well, that's the Simpson Desert completed. Most of us got up. A couple of us had to look at options. There is a chicken track around Big Red, but nonetheless, it's an accomplishment whichever way you got to the top of Big Red. We're just outside of Birdsville. We're approaching Birdsville now. We'll stay here for 2 nights before we start heading north towards Bullia. Well, Jackie and Camille have had to board a small commercial flight flying back to Perth via Brisbane. They've both got to return to Perth for work, and the rest of us will pack up tomorrow morning and start heading north. we're inbound towards Dalhousie Springs in Central Australia. We'll be there for a couple of nights to resupply, enjoy some downtime and get some work done on the vehicles. So this particular chapter's coming to a close. Of course, when we get back on the road, we'll be heading towards the Canning stock route, but that's another story. See you on the other side.